Vince.
My name's Vincent and I'm an addict. I was going to say that was a quickie.
Yeah.
Sometimes quickies are good. But I think when I got asked to do this, it was like old timers meeting. I don't think I'll qualify to be an old timer because I still feel mentally like a 10-year-old little kid, and so. In clean time, I don't even feel like that is an old time. I'm 18 and a half years clean now. Well, about 18 and 9 months, something like that. And it's all by doing this. But I really, like, when I've done the over 8s meeting, I went, yeah, I'm over 8. Okay? I'm over 8. But do I feel like an old timer? No, I really don't feel like. I mean, that when I got clean on the 29th of December 2006. And that seemed like last week. It has flown so fast, it's unbelievable. And the thing is, I'm still learning things in life. I'm still learning them now. I'm still learning how to cope. I'm learning. And I've learnt these things to come in and be honest with people. I don't want to sound really, really good, like I've got this locked down. I mean, I'm still one of them people who becomes mentally, emotionally unstable on occasions. If I get into a fearful state, that's one of the things which I have grown up around. When I came in here, I was very, very stunted, okay, mentally, emotionally, and able to speak about things. Okay, I was really, really stunted, really, really shut down. But the longer I've come in, and it was only through like coming here and listening to other people, that is like, you give me something, okay? And then, because you give me something, I'm able, like, it's pointless coming in here just to try to sound good or not sound anything at all. Like, what people give me, I'll try to give away, just plus added my experience in it and the terminology I use and the wording I use. And sometimes people have come up to me afterwards going, I really understand what you've talked about. I really understand that, what you're talking about, how you think and how you feel. And so that gives me, okay, you carry on talking the way you talk and share the way you share, because over the years that's benefited other people, and where I've benefited other people and they've come and told me it's really, really benefited me, that I'm not some useless drug addict, that I'm able to come in here and help people either with an experience or a big thing for me is like not feeling alone. Because when I've had that in recovery, that's really, really painful, like feeling like I'm here on my own. And what my thinking can do to me is like really, really, and that's really not a nice feeling. But like I used to sit in a meeting, where I live in Western Supermare, North Somerset, and some of our meetings, we used to have 100, 150 people in them. And there was people I grew up with in the meetings. There was about 5, 6 of us who I grew up with. And sometimes I used to sit in the meetings and feel so alone, it was fucking painful. I can remember one specific day I just opened my mouth up and it was like I nearly started crying. And then I had to come to terms with, like, in that first year, I had to go through a mourning period. Like, the biggest relationship I've ever had has broke down. And now I'm left all on my own in this world, what I've never ever been in. And that relationship was with drugs. It occupied my whole life, my whole thinking, it occupied everything about me. And I can really identify with people saying they medicated themselves using drugs. I had a one-track mind. And even other things going on, like when my mum passed away, when I was using, like, it wasn't nice. But my mind was on, I need to get on. And so it just helped me cope. Like, not thinking about nothing else. And there was things I went through were quite shocking when I come out of it. Like, you didn't really even think a second about what happened to you. But when I come out of active addiction and I started sitting in these meetings, I got clean in my friend's front room on the 29th of December 2006 after using drugs from the age of 10 years old. I was 37 years old. And when I stopped using at 37 years old, I was like that 10-year-old little kid. I'd been chucked out into this world like I'd been in a car crash. And I was in shock. I was really, really in shock. And I came in here and all yous lot were all chatting, like all smiling, all had girlfriends, boyfriends, you all had things to do anyway, and I had fuck all. I had a little bag of clothes, what I used in with holes in and all that sort of stuff. People give me clothes when I got clean, people took me for food when I got clean, people picked me up and took me to meetings. And I had nothing. And I came in here and yous lot seemed all together. From an outside thing, I know now, that's, right? That's an outside projection you lot are putting off, and inside you're more likely are fucked on occasions. Not all the time, but on occasions, if you're anything like me, you might get a bit overwhelmed and a bit. But on an outside thing, we don't know, like it's judging a book by its cover, ain't it? That's one thing I've learnt now, never judge a book by its cover, because people can sound really, really confident in it and be really, really good, but inside they're really not. I do a lot of, part of my work, what I do, I work with a lot of people very new into recovery. And so I do a lot of these talking to people, and one of the things I always say to them, I say, do you think I sound quite confident? They say, yeah, you sound really confident. Well, fucking ain't. I'm not confident at all. It's just I've got used to this now. And I have a level of anxiety which don't cripple me. I'm able to challenge it, like coming into a new meeting, who's going to be in there, like whatever. I have that, but I'm going to challenge that anxiety and go in there. I'm not going to let the anxiety override my thinking and make me sit here, because that's what can happen when I visit London. It's like, and like, I don't want to sit in a meeting and be quiet. I want to come and sit in a meeting and try and be helpful to someone else. So I have to challenge a lot of things about myself. And them things, what I challenge is is where I learn to grow. So, but I came in here and I was really, really deranged when I stopped using that. And I sat in, and all you lot had the words, everything, and I'm sitting and I'm raging. I was all right outside a meeting, like having a laugh and a joke with my friends, and I came in here and it was like I was starting to rage. I thought, fucking hell, you've just wasted 27 years of your life. And now you're sitting here in Western Superman with nothing. And it really, really affected me. And then I opened my mouth, and people told me years later that they thought I had Tourette's when I stopped. Because all I'd do, I'd open my mouth and all would come out of, like, I swear quite a lot now, but I swear nowhere near as when I first got clean. And it was just like abuse would come out of my mouth. Not at any one individual, it was just like I needed to let this anger out of me, and I didn't even know I was angry. People used to say, "Oh, you're not saying angry." I go, "Fuck off, am I angry?" And then I'll sit back. Of course I'm angry. I'm resentful at myself. I'm resentful at that I've just wasted 27 years of my life. Of course I'm angry. I never stopped using and come into Narcotics Anonymous and become a happy clapper. Went, "Oh, I'm in Narcotics Anonymous now. I found my family and I'm home." It wasn't. It was just I had to go through a natural state of like accepting the damage I caused myself. And so that's what I always share this, because it's where I learned. It's where I learned what was wrong with me. So in 1999, I got really, really ill, and I was rushed off to hospital, and they took an X-ray of my chest, and my left lung was completely different colour than my right lung, and they started giving me loads of medication, thinking they could help me, and it had gone further than that. And so they got me out of this hospital, moved me further away from where I was to shut down now, the London Chest Hospital, where they tried to help me. And what they did, they stuck 5 drains in my back to let out the poison out of my left lung. And what they realised, the top 3 drains was letting out poison out of my lung, and the bottom 2 wasn't doing anything. And then they realised my lung had congealed. So they had to cut my back open and take away that bottom percentage. I don't know if it was half or third, whatever, but they took a major part of my left lung away. And this is where it's really, really insane, is because I think I'm quite a health-conscious drug addict. I think health. God's honest truth is what I thought, you're not a Divins, right? You're in hospital. If you smoke heroin in this hospital, the patients and the doctors will smell it, and you're not mad, are you? Because you just had part of your lung removed. Only a lunatic would smoke heroin in this hospital, with what just happened to you. And I'm neither of them. So what I need to do, I need to get some needles so I can inject it into my bloodstream. That will bypass my lung, and that is a fucking healthy decision, Vince. And I believe that. I believe, yeah, that's healthy. And I've done what my mind told me to do. And in a year I got really, really ill, and they rushed me off to hospital again, where my right leg blew up to twice the size it should be. And I carried on using drugs in this hospital, and they ended up chucking me out, and they moved me further away so no one would come and visit me and bring me up drugs. And it's funny, I get to this point all the time. As soon as I get to this point, I think of this one person, and that's my dad. That's my dad's ring. If anyone knows that symbol on that ring, that's the Mother Fellowship AA symbol there. My dad was in recovery for 46 years, and he passed away in February, and I was left his ring. So at this time, my mind went to my dad, went to the ring, and my dad, I didn't think 1 second what my dad and my mum and my brothers and sisters went through, but their son again now is in hospital with seriously ill, and I never thought for 1 second how they must have felt. Where my dad had to sign a consent form. They said, your son is so ill, he might be dead in the morning, we're going to have to amputate his right leg, and even if we amputate his leg, that might not save him. And my dad was living on top of a pub at the time, and when I went and made amends to my dad, he said the worst thing in my whole entire recovery was that night I had to sign that consent form for you. And then I had to go home, live on top of this pub, and all I could hear downstairs was fucking drunk people. And I never thought for 1 second that he must have felt or what he was going through or anything. And it was quite shocking. And so I come out of hospital after having my leg amputated, and I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what addiction is. Okay, I'll come up with a thought and I'll just do it. So I'm at home, I'm on so much medication I didn't need to go and use street drugs. But I sat there and I was sitting in my bedroom looking up, just imagining cobwebs in the corner. All things like this was just going, I'm never going to go and mix with normal people again. I'm a one-legged fucking waste of space drug addict. How can I go and mix with normal people now? I didn't identify I'm feeling worthless here. No, like in NA now, I identify I'm fucking feeling worthless. I didn't have that in my vocabulary back then. It was like, you're never going out again. You're going to sit here, become an old man sitting in this room. And then the thought came in and went, Vince, injecting was the problem. If we go out and we just smoke, that will get you out of the house. I went, yeah, I'll get out. I don't feel worthless around drug addicts. So I went out in my wheelchair, started smoking drugs again, and I sat in my bedroom for the next 6 years injecting everything I could get my hands on. So when I went through the basic text, there's a bit in there where it says we justify and we rationalise the most outrageous nonsense. And I really, really identify with that. That's what I do. I tell myself shit and I believe it, especially around the use of drugs. And that's what I've done. And I only learnt that by coming here. So that's why I always share that part of the story, because it was quite a shocking experience. Because it's sunny out today, let's use. I'm bored today, let's use. All that stuff, no one likes me, let's use. Or this is going to make the day even better, let's use. Whatever I come up with. But these were really powerful experiences where I could not deny it. Fucking, that's what you do. You've always done it, and you've always listened to it. And then you put that drug in your body, and it sets off a craving for more and more and more. And this is where it takes you. And I learnt that coming here. So that's why I sat in meetings at the beginning, and I realised all the damage what I'd caused myself. Fucking hell, you've took this to really, really extreme lengths, and now you're sitting here 38 years old with nothing. And I had to start all over. That was where my life started. And I was 38 years old with a mentality of a 10-year-old little kid, life experiences of a 10-year-old little kid, no life experiences other than using drugs, and this is where I come to school. This was my schooling, and a lot of yous teach me and shared things with me which I started to identify with, and that's when I started coming in and I started adding my experience to it now. So like now I'm 18 years in St Clean, and I've been married. I have been married. I am married. Fuck that, she heard that. I've been married next week for 10 years. I've been with her for fucking 17 years, and that's a miracle that I ain't killed her. She ain't killed me. I mean, because we've got two lunatics at the best of times together, but we've learnt a lot about each other, learned a lot about addiction. But the thing is, with these things, what's come into my life, it's like, people said to me, your life, you've got everything, ain't you? I work, I'm married, I've got 2 daughters, I've got a fucking dog, I've got 2 cockatiels, right? Everything's great, I've got a car, everything's great. But the problem is I'm in it. And like these experiences, like where I've had, where it's someone who, I said it, I think last time, it was Scott don't come here no more, but when years and years ago, I remember he said, wait until your obsession connects with these things, health, finance, and relationships. And I always remember him saying that, because they're the 3 things that have really, really affected me clean. When I've been ill, that my thinking goes to the most extreme place it can go to when I've been ill. When my daughter was ill, it was a really, really powerful thing. I always say this, like, we're powerless over our addiction and our lives become manageable. Through my experiences living clean, I can quite clearly say I'm powerless over my thinking, and the way I feel inside becomes unmanageable. My thinking takes me to places where I don't want to go. My youngest daughter was diagnosed with a heart murmur, and my world just fucking collapsed. Like, my wife walked through the door and I went, what's wrong? She went, Gracie's got a heart murmur. And I heard that word and I thought, any minute now you're going to take your last breath in front of me and die. And so I started going to bed at night thinking, is my daughter going to be there when I wake up in the morning? It was absolutely terrifying. That's when I started coming in. I was able to tell people I'm fucking scared. Like, I'm not coming in here and I'm a big man and all this. My obsession takes me to some dark, dark places where I am absolutely fucking petrified. And I say them things so someone else in here, or if you ever go for that place where you go to that dark place, you realise you're not alone. And it feels like I can't cope when these things happen to me. But my experience tells me, Vince, you carry on doing what you do and the things what you've learned to do, and it helps you cope to live life without the use of drugs. So I started praying for my daughter, right? And so my thinking, like something just happened to my thinking. It was like, Vincent, you're totally powerless over what's going to happen to your daughter. Your daughter's on her own journey, right? And all you can do is be a parent for her while she's here. And so what started to happen was my thinking started to come. When I got to that place of acceptance, I am totally powerless, I can't do nothing. It didn't take away the worry 100%, but it really, really dampened it down a lot. And I went to the hospital after 4 months. My daughter had a checkup, and they said, yeah, she's got a heart murmur. It's called an innocent heart murmur. But this is where I go. I'll go to extreme fear when things happen, especially to people I really, really care about. And I've learnt to do things in recovery. Like, I've done shares like this when something's going on, and like my head's going, no, you need to fucking drop that out, cancel that, fucking, you've got so much going on, right? Just fucking drop that out. You stay at home. The safest place for you to be is at home. The safest place for me to be is not at home on my own. The safest place for me to be is around other people. Okay, so I've done this thing, and what I've done is I've got out of myself by turning up. I've got out of myself to try and come here and be helpful to someone else, where I've got a bit of relief from myself for fucking 15 or 20 minutes. So do you know what I'm going to carry on doing? Anything asked of me, when I can go and do things to get a bit of relief from myself and get out of myself, I'm going to do. So them things what you hear in the beginning, it's like get a sponsor, go through the steps, do some service and 10 regular meetings. They're the things that really, really help me get out of myself. That's my personal experience. When I've sponsored someone, I've had that stuff going on and I've gone round and with all the obsession going on, and what are you doing? What are you doing going round there? Your daughter's really ill, what are you doing? And I've gone round, I've sat with a sponsee for about 2-3 hours. And I can remember walking out the door and I shut the door behind me and went, fucking hell. If that didn't help him, it fucking helped me. Because the worry was still in the background, but I was there to try and help this person. And it gave me a bit of relief from myself. At that time, it went down from 10 down to 5, or it lowered. So these are the things I had to start acknowledging. It's like, Vince, do not sit at home on your own. If there's a meeting going on, get to the meeting. Get around people. Right? If you're sponsoring someone, don't cancel on the sponsor. You turn up and get out of yourself and be there for someone else. And it's these things that have really, really helped me, like, become a bit more mentally, emotionally, a bit more stable. Because without the use of drugs, I've become a bit more mentally, emotionally unstable when these things happen to me. It's not I've come into Narcotics Anonymous now and I work a 12-step program and I've become Teflon. Like, and all these things in life, they just go over my head. They don't. It's like strange, the negative things I fucking grab on for dear life, and like, we're going to stay together, me and you. Something good happens to me in the day, it's like, within a second, fucking forgot about it. I don't hold on for that for dear life, but I've got to really, really acknowledge these things. It's like, this is how I don't know if it's how my mind's trained, because I've had years and years of drug abuse, and now I've got to start untraining it, but I've got to do a really lot of acknowledging of the things that help me change my thinking. And when I sit down with people and I speak with people, it's one of the things that helps me change the way I think. And I really, really need to change a lot of my thinking. And so since I've come here, I might not feel like I'm an old timer, but in the 18 years and a bit, there's been a lot of change in the way I think and the way I feel. Like my dad, I wanted to kill. I wanted to kill growing up. I didn't want to kill him in the end. And now I'm wearing that man's ring. And so the way I think and can challenge things about being resentful and fucking all selfish and all that sort of stuff, I can really, really challenge that. And resentment's what I held on for like fucking all my life. I can get out a lot faster than that if I challenge the way I think and the way I am about things. Is that it? Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.